pick up that violin, okay? I'm not that kind of Asian. All right, but everyone give it up for yourselves for coming out on a Wednesday night! Yes! Comedy's coming back live. I'm so excited. So I really want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you for getting vaccinated or lying about being vaccinated. Look, I don't care. I'm not here to judge. I'm not. You do you. I get the vaccine hesitation. I do. My mom, she was vaccine hesitant, which I didn't understand because she's over 75 and she's got pre-existing conditions. And you know, it's getting so bad in the wintertime this year. You know, I was like, you know, I'm gonna sign you up. And so that's what I did. And she's like, Pauline, you know, I don't want a vaccine. And I told her, Mom, you know it's free. And she's like, okay, I take 10. So she's all vaxxed up, which I was so excited about because I got COVID. I got COVID in December. My daughter gave it to me. She's 7. She knew that she had it. She just walked up into my face and she just coughed right in it. And I was like, oh my God. And she's like, I just wanted to see if you would die. I didn't, spoiler. But you know, when I took that COVID test, when I got the results, it was just like exactly the same reaction when I got my pregnancy test back. I was like, oh my God, how did this happen? I thought I followed all the rules. I used protection. It's the last time I wear a lambskin mask. But honestly, you know, the worst part about COVID, it wasn't the actual symptoms. It was actually, you know, that phone call you had to make to tell everyone you might have exposed them to COVID. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about if you had it, right? I mean, it was just like when you have an STD, but instead of calling one person, you're like the village whore and you gotta call the whole town. 17 unending phone calls. I thought I had an intimate family gathering. Apparently it was a giant orgy. I was not aware. I'm just picking up the phone going, hey, remember that time you came over and we like Netflixed and chilled? I may have given you a deadly disease and I've definitely ruined your next 2 weeks. Bye! Over and over. It was awesome. But I'm so glad that the COVID stuff is going away. My mom's vaccinated, but you know, here's the sad thing for my mom is she doesn't want to go out, even though she's vaccinated now, because of all the Asian hate that's out there. And she said that she's experienced it firsthand. She said she went for a walk and she didn't even make it past the driveway before she heard someone yelling at her. You know, no one can understand a word you're saying, and this country was better without you in it. And I was like, oh man, Mom, that's terrible. But maybe don't walk past Dad's house. Because that's not Asian hate, that's just I hate my wife hate, which is totally different. But I get the Asian hate thing, I do. At the very, very beginning of the pandemic, I was supermarket shopping, and some guy rammed his cart right into me, and he was like, it's you, your people gave us this disease because you eat bat. And I was like, that's rich coming from a guy whose cart is full of Funyuns and Hot Pockets. Like, what's a Hot Pocket? Bad is just bad. I don't really know what caused the COVID, I don't. But, you know, the worst part about that is that this person just assumed I was Chinese, right? Which I'm not. I don't know why people assume this. I've had random people come up to me, and just out of nowhere, no introduction, they just come up to me and they'll be like, Ni hao ma. I'm like, I'm sorry, I was born and raised in Los Angeles. No hablo Asian. I only speak Caucasian. Unless you want to extend my car warranty, then ni hao ma. I'm not Chinese, and here's the thing, I used to think that was kind of like a racist thing for people to assume I was Chinese until I realized my daughter did it to me. Like raised in a low-key racist. It's cool, I found this out because we had moved into a new neighborhood and my husband was like, oh, do you think we're gentrifying the neighborhood? And I was like, honey, we met on Craigslist, we're the trash. But My daughter was like, oh, what does gentrify mean? I told her, oh, that's when white people move into a neighborhood and they ruin it by putting kale in everything. But she's like, oh, Mommy, you don't have to worry about doing that. You're not white. You're a China person. I was like, whoa, no, I know, who told you that? And she's like, Daddy. So I went up to my husband, I was like, what's the deal with this? He's like, no, she misunderstood. I just told her anything in the house that doesn't work comes from China. Not Chinese, but it's a funny thing that now I know that in some of your heads you might be wondering, what kind of Asian is she? This is a weird question, please don't ask me. It's such a strange question. Like, I don't go up to white people, right? Like, I won't go up to you and I'm like, what kind of white are you? Do you identify as Cracker Barrel or IKEA white? It's a really weird question, just don't ask it. All you need to know is that I'm from here, from the US, and it's very strange. I know you can't tell by looking at me. And I get this because I've been in parking lots. One time this guy rolled his window down and he's like, go back to where you came from. I was like, oh my God, I'm trying, but the rent in Hollywood is ridiculous. Like, here's the thing, people, you just gotta think of me like I'm a Toyota. It looks like I'm imported from Asia, but then you do a little research, find out, 100% made in America. Other ways, I'm like your typical Asian car. Okay? I'm dependable. I'm never gonna die. And unlike a Volkswagen, I can pass any test you give me without cheating. I've also got a pair of faulty airbags that refuse to. Oh, I also don't mind being rear-ended. I've been rear-ended multiple times. Here's a tip, sir. Let me empty the trunk first. So here's the weird thing. I'm married to an immigrant, but nobody ever tells him to go back to where he came from. It's probably because he's British and white. But now the cool thing is, anytime someone says something racist to me, I just yell back, well, guess what? That white guy married me for the green card! So my husband's British, and usually when I tell ladies this, they get all excited. They're like, ooh, British accent, oh, that's so sexy. Ooh. It must be like being married to James Bond. Which I don't really understand, because all I hear from him are things like, why don't you clean the garage? You dirty whore. It's like I'm married to a Shakespearean witch. The other thing that drives me crazy about him is he's a vegetarian. And he's a judgy vegetarian. Yeah, exactly. Boo! Tell him boo! He's sitting over there. Boo! Vegetarian. It's because he's so judgy about it, okay? The other day I was eating a hot dog, enjoying myself, and he's like, ugh, don't you care what you put inside your body? And I was like, after the second date, I think we established the answer to that was no. The other strange quirk that he has is he won't drink like cow's milk. It's super weird. We were babysitting my 3-year-old niece one day and she's like, I want milk. And he's like, all we have is almond milk. And so she's like, just give it to me. So, she drinks it and she immediately just spits it out. She's like, ugh, Uncle Terrence, I don't like your nut milk. I was like, girl, neither do I, up top. But I do love him. He tries to be woke. Like when we got engaged, that movie Blood Diamond came out. Do you remember that movie? Right? So he's like, I want to be an ethical white dude. And so he's like, I bought you a conflict-free diamond ring. I was like, oh, that's amazing. That's amazing, right? It came with all this paperwork and stuff. But being a good Asian, I read the paperwork. He didn't buy me a diamond, people. He bought me a cubic zirconia. Let me tell you, that's not a conflict-free ring. It's full of conflicts, that ring. I'm not wearing it, as you can see. It's a wedding ring. We're still married somehow. But now that I'm married to a white guy, I gotta do white guy things. You know what I'm talking about, sir. You're a white guy. You know, I gotta go camping now. Camping. I love how white people call it camping. Every other culture just calls it homelessness. He's like, we'll sleep under the stars and bathe in a stream. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure my mom escaped Korea, so I would never have to do those things. But I am grateful. I'm grateful for marriage because I don't have to date. When you're an Asian lady dating, it's very difficult. Every time I date a guy, he'd be like, oh my God, you're so exotic. And I'm like, what, is it the accent or the fact that we grew up 2 miles apart from each other? But I remember dating this one guy. I told him my name was Pauline. And he's like, oh, what's your real name? Like my parents named me bok choy or ping pong. Look, I'm from that generation of immigrant parents who wanted their kids to be white. Okay? I'm pretty sure my mom thought, if she has no accent and a very, very white name, maybe no one will know. Which is why my name is Pauline, except when my mom says it, then it comes out like a Pauline. People, that's how white she wanted me to be. She gave me a name she couldn't even pronounce. It's terrible. I said it earlier, and it wasn't a joke. I did meet my husband on Craigslist. That is where we met. Not a joke. In my defense, I was just looking for some free furniture. He completely misunderstood when I told him I was looking for one nightstand. But my husband and the free couch that I got on Craigslist are very similar. You know, they both had previous owners that were desperately trying to get rid of it. And I'm pretty sure only one of them's been peed on, so it's cool. It's cool. It's hard. We've been together for, God, it's so long, I can't even count that number, and I'm Asian. It's been so long. It's just hard to keep the romance alive, especially during lockdown. It's been very difficult. I remember when he used to call when we were dating, he would say things like, oh, honey, I did some manscaping. And I'd be like, oh, sexy time. You know, the other day he told me, honey, I manscaped. And I was like, I know, I had to clean the bathroom. And I wish all that hair was on your balls and not all over the bathroom floor. It's like vacuuming a sexy gentleman, not the manscaping. Don't really care about that. But my husband, he's working from home because of the lockdown, the coronavirus. But finally, he's commuting again. He's commuting. Not because his office told him he had to go in, because I told him if he didn't get out of the house, I was going to kill him. So he's out of the house. During lockdown, though, people asked me, my crunchy granola mom friends would ask me, did you use that time to bond with your daughter? And I'm going to be honest with you. After I turned 40, I find it nearly impossible to bond with anyone who can't drink. It's just... It's just so painful. You know, moms, there are moms in this audience, right? Moms, give it up for yourselves. You made it through the lockdown. It's a crazy, crazy time. The whole time I was like going insane because I had to homeschool my daughter, take care of my husband, go shopping. It was insane. I couldn't take it until one day I walked up through the door and I told my husband, honey, I took a COVID test and came out positive. So it looks like you're going to have to do all the homeschooling, the cooking, and the cleaning while I go self-isolate for 2 weeks. So bye, y'all! It was the best 2 weeks of my life, guys. I've had COVID 17 times. I know I'm vaccinated, but there's breakthrough cases because mama needs a break. You know what it is that I'm saying? But my husband was very excited when he got this job that he has now because he came home one day and he's like, honey, I found out that I have life insurance. If I die, you get $1 million. And I said, what do you mean if? Well, I mean, he's a white guy, he's older than me, he's gonna die, so it's fine. But look, here's the deal. This did make me think, though, gentlemen in the audience, just food for thought here. Maybe the best life insurance is no life insurance. Think about this, because if my husband is dying on the floor in front of me and we have no life insurance, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, who's gonna pay all the bills? I'm gonna have to go back to work, I'm calling 911. But if I know he has life insurance, let's just see what happens. I mean, like, look, people, I'm not saying I want to kill my husband, that's terrible. It's just, who am I to play God? Maybe God wants me to be an heiress millionaire. I don't know. I am Asian, and I just want to tell everyone that I do love being Asian. Even with the Asian hate and everything, I'm excited to be Asian, because when you're Asian, yes, when you're Asian, yeah, you are not just a race. You are an entire fetish category in porn. Yeah, seriously, go look it up. Asian, it's right after anal, but before big dick. I've been watching a lot of porn recently because of the lockdown and being stuck, and it made me realize I'm not a very sexy person, okay? My husband always complains about it. He says I'm not sexy because I wear granny panties. Well, you know, ladies, you know why, right? Because they're practical, right? They're comfortable, and they have pockets, right? Right, you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, see, you know, panties with pockets, right? Yeah. You look confused. Have you seen them before? No? Here, I'm going to show them to you. No, they have pockets. They seriously do. Look, they're great. They're like, you know, waiters love when you tip in cash, so you just put that in the pocket. Sometimes, you know, you go to a mailbox and you look at the envelope and you're like, I forgot the stamp. Well, bam! Up here a long time, guys. So I brought some snacks with me. These are Cheetos. But I get it. Some of you are like, those pockets don't meet my storage needs. That's why I double up. Look, guys, they make them with a zipper pouch. That's where I keep my iPhone. Ladies, you put this on vibrate. These are my go-tos. My husband's like, those aren't sexy, so he bought me a pair of thong underwear, which I have. Oh, it's in the pocket. It's not that kind of show, guys. This is Irvine Improv. It's a classy place. So the other night, we went on date nights wearing it. I'm like, oh my God, this thing is going into cracks I didn't even know I had. And it's because I was wearing it backwards. What is this? It looks like an eye patch. There's no material here. Ladies, he said this thing cost him $16. Is that what you paid for it? Okay, no. Here's the solution, okay? Ladies, just go to like a Walgreens or a CVS. Okay, it's like $2.99. It's in the eye care aisle. tell your man? Arg.